Hi everyone. Salesforce Admin Training Day 4. Let's see today's agenda. We'll quickly go through the previous session overview and then we'll talk about the navigation steps to create the application. And we will talk about one of the use case. And then we'll talk about the assignments and objects. We will talk about objects. What is the standard object? What is the custom object? What are the Garner limits on the custom object? What are the ways to view the objects? And what is object manager? What we can see in the object manager? What is schema builder? What all we can see in the schema builder? And then we will talk about the developer console. And also we will talk about the use case. And if time permits, then we'll talk about the custom object. And then we will talk about the interview questions ahead. Now, what did we learn in last session?
About list view.
About the list view, yes. And we have seen the what are the Garner limits on the custom application. And also we have seen the application definition, what is the application with the use case. And we have discussed about what are the standard application, what are the custom applications. And then we have discussed about what are the Garner limits are available for the custom application. Today, continuation of that, let's see how to create a custom application in Salesforce. Like last class, I have explained one of the example is insurance company. Insurance company is the one. So insurance company, they wanted to use the application which is related to the insurance. So in case like that, if I wanted to create an application, Salesforce is already providing the standard application. But in case if I wanted to implement an application which is provided by the Salesforce, which is not provided, like a Salesforce does not have the application, insurance application is not there, or some custom application which I wanted to implement. So in that case, what are the navigation steps to create an application? Click on a setup menu, search for an application. App option is called App Manager in the Quick Find. Search for the option App Manager in the Quick Find. And then click on the App Manager link. Click on the App Manager link. Let me show you right now. Now, this is a Salesforce. In the Salesforce, the first step is okay, so first step is click on your setup. So you will be, Salesforce will take you to this setup. And here, search for an app manager. Search for app manager. So this is the app manager. So you will find, search for the option app manager in the quick find box. And then click on the app manager. So there is an app manager here. Click on this app manager. When you click on this app manager, so you can view all the applications exist in the organization, right? Once you click on that, you can view all the applications that are exist in the organization, including the classic and lightning. That means these are the applications which are provided by the Salesforce. These are the applications which are provided by the Salesforce. Now, they have provided the sales applications, sales console, Salesforce charter, service console, marketing, lightning usage app. Everything is provided by the Salesforce. But how do I know that which one is for the classic, which one is for the lightning? Now, if you see on top, this is the app name. What is the app name? Application name. what is the developer name of the application, and what is the description here. And then you will see last modified, and after that we will see the application type. Application type. This application type will explain about whether it is a classic application or whether it is a lightning application. It explains about classic or lightning. So wherever the application type is a classic, though that means these applications are can view in the classic. Can view in the classic. Wherever the application says lightning, those can be in the lightning. Now, for example, let me show you app name. Let's sort it with this. Now here I have a two sales applications. Two sales application. One sales is classic view. Another sales is lightning. How can I say app type? The app type, what are the type is there? There are two types of the app. One is a classic and the second one is lightning. Wherever it is a lightning, that means this is in the lightning. Whenever we wanted to open the sales application, it will show this application. It does not show classic application. It does not show classic application. Similarly, we have a marketing. So marketing is a classic. Marketing is a classic. Now similarly, we might be having another marketing which is displayed in the lightning. Now one more way you can identify is, now if you go back to the Salesforce duplicate, now let's go to the sales application. Now in the sales application, this corner, okay, in the sales application, whatever this corner, pencil icon, it is displaying it. For lightning application, it is going to display this pencil icon. It is going to display the pencil icon. If it is a classic, like a marketing is the classic, marketing is classic. Let me open that app launcher, click on view all, and let me open the marketing. Marketing is a classic. We do not have a lightning market. Now what it is displaying, instead of a pencil icon, it is displaying the some help condition. It is asking that ask your admin to upgrade this app to the lightning experience. Right? This is a classic experience. We are viewing the classic experience in the lightning. So by looking at this also we can identify whether this application is a classic or a lightning. Whether it is a classic application or a lightning application. If it is a lightning application, at the right side corner, we can see the pencil icon. We can see the pencil icon. Otherwise, it will show the help icon. Otherwise, it will show help icon. Like service also, it is a classic. Now service, I have a classic. There is another one, service console. Service console. Now let me open the service console. View all, service console. If I click on a service console, now it will show the pencil icon here. Because it is a lightning application. It is lightning application. It's not showing here service console. But usually for this, like a sales console. Sales console also, lightning application, it does not show anything here. Right? So for sales console, service console, it does not show. Now here I have a sales application. If I open the sales application, if I open the sales application, then it is pencil icon is displaying. So that way also we can identify whether it is classic or lightning. So usually in the real time, if I wanted to create a classic application or a lightning application, mostly it is depending on the app type. So app type is going to explain whether you wanted to create a classic or a lightning. and whether this application is visible to everybody or not. Whether this application is visible to everybody or not is going to display here. Wherever it says the platform, it is not visible. It is not visible. Similarly, we have another one which is called as a sales classic. It is not visible. Classic is not visible. Wherever I have removed this visible in lightning, wherever I have removed visible in lightning or a visible in lightning is a disabled checkbox. Those applications we cannot see on the applications. Right, so now I wanted to create a lightning application. If I wanted to create a lightning application, so we need to click on the, we need to click on the new lightning application. Here is the new lightning application. So when you click on the new lightning application, it will ask a couple of information. Enter the application name, developer name, enter the description, and then we need to select the image, what are the image that needs to be used as the logo for the application by using the upload image. And then we need to select the default color to be applied for the application tab by default. Now, if I go to the sales application, now if I open home, on top it is a blue color. If I click on this opportunity, it is a blue color. If I click on the products, it's a blue color. Now here it is a blue color, right? So now this is also blue color. The entire application is showing as a same color. Which are the tab I selected? All the tabs on top, it is displaying the same color. Now, in case if you want the same color to be displayed, then we have an option in the while creating the new app. There is a one option which is called as a if you wanted to default color to be applied for the application tab by using the pick list. Now we have to select the we need to select the checkbox called apply the application image and color instead of organization image color. Right, take a notes of it. Let me know once it is done. So let's move on. So once we select on that, right? So once we select the information, Now we need to select the personalization and form factor. Then we have to click on the next button. Right, so once we click on the next button, then we need to provide the utility items to be added. Utility items. Utility items are nothing but if you wanted to add a charter field or a task, right? All these are utility items, right? If you want, you can add that, but usually it's not required. Then we will click on a next button. Then after that, we need to select the navigation items, the navigation item that we wanted to visible on the application. What are the navigation items that I wanted to see on the application? Do I wanted to see the opportunity? Do I wanted to see the opportunity, product, lead, account, contact, task, campaign? These all are, I wanted to see the navigation item. So what are the navigations item that we wanted to see on the application? We need to select those items. Then we can click on the next button. Then you can save that. So this is all the navigation steps. Now let's see the use case so that you will understand all those steps. So use case is create a custom application Swapna IT by using the Swapna IT image as the logo and add the standard tabs for the application, account, contacts, opportunity, cases, campaign, and lead. I need to create a custom application which is called as a Swapna IT. Now let's go ahead and create it. Now I'm going to click on this new Lightning app. New Lightning app. On the first page, when I click on that, this is the first screen. Total we have a 4 screens are there. Total we have a 5 screens are there. Right? So this is still here one screen, and then I have a second screen, and then I have a third screen, and then I have a fourth screen. Right? Total 4 screens are available. Now in this, I need to provide the app name and the developer name. And what is the description? Why I am creating this app? This app is used for what? And then I can select here image. Image I can select. So usually here the image is displaying it, right? This is the Salesforce image. So similarly, if I wanted to upload Swapna IT image, and then the primary color code, if you want any primary color code, right? So you can choose that, or else org theme options, org theme options. This is basically if you select this, entire org, you will have a same theme. Entire org, you will have a same theme. Now let me create it. Now let's say application name is Swapna IT. Right, so here I'm going to upload the image. Let's say I'm going to upload the image, Swapna Salesforce logo. Click on upload. Right, it is going to upload. Now I'm going to say here, this application used for education system. Right, and here, if you want any primary color or if you want to change any color, you can change it. You can change it. Whenever you click on this, automatically here it is getting updated. Automatically here it is getting updated. Click on done. Now, if you want to make the theme, whatever the theme is there, entire theme you want it to be the same color. Let's say I'll put it as this color. Right, so use this theme. Now this is the Swapna Salesforce, and this is how your application will be look like. Click on the next button. Now we are moving on to the second screen. We are moving on to the second screen. In that second screen, in this second screen, you have a app options. You have a app options. In this app options, now it is saying that navigation and form factor, navigation and form factor. So do you wanted to have a navigation style, standard navigation or a console navigation? I'll just go for a standard navigation. If you want, you can select the console navigation also. There's much difference there. Now the supported form factor, do you wanted to support for the desktop and phone or only desktop or only phone? Let's go with the desktop and phone. Setup and personalization. Do you want to set up the experience, full setup options or only service setup? Now I'll go with full setup. App personalization setting. If you want to disable any user personalization navigation item, you can check this. But usually we do not disable anything. Right? So this is as it is. I'm using it. Click on it next. Now the second screen is completed. On the third screen, we have a add utility items. Add utility items. Utility items are nothing but if you click on this button, for example, if you click on this button, it is going to show charter feed, charter poster, flows, history, Marco, and recently item, report chart, rich text. If you wanted to AC any of this utility item, you can select those utility items. For now, by default, I'm using the by default. I'm not changing anything. Now click on third screen. Now in this screen, we have a navigation items. We have a navigation item. These are the available items. What are the navigation items available in the Salesforce? What I'm planning to show this in the application. For example, I wanted to show the campaign. For example, I wanted to select this campaign and move this item here. And similarly, I wanted to choose the lead. Let's move it here. And similarly, I have an account. Move it and then contact. So you can select here which are the objects you wanted to move it. Contact and then opportunity products, right? And then price book. Then I wanted to see the case. Now these are the objects, and finally I wanted to see reports and dashboards. Now these are the selected items. In case if you wanted to move anything, for example, if you wanted to move price book on top of the product, now you can move this is order. Wherever you wanted to move this, you can move. Right, so this is the order, sorting order, which way the navigation item should be displayed. Now this is the navigation item screen. Click on the next. Now once it is done, then we have to select the user profile. What is the first screen? First screen about the app details. First screen about the app details. Second screen is about the options. And the third screen is utility items. And the fourth one is navigation items. Navigation item. And then you have a user profiles. Now, once this user profile, do you wanted to show this application for everybody? Do you wanted to show this application for everybody or only system admin? It's up to the client. If they say that everybody should be able to see, now select all the records. Now shift control down and then move it to here. Shift, you need to click on the down arrow. Now click on the save button. Now, the one which we have created is Swapna IT. Here it is the one which is a lightning visible lightning experience, and created is today. It is last modified is today. And this application used for the education. Now there is a spelling mistake. Now, for example, now you have made some changes. Now, if it is a standard application, you can see only one option which is called as a edit. If it is a custom application, you can see the option edit, delete, clone. Edit, delete, clone. Now, for example, I wanted to modify this. So click on this edit. Click on this edit. And then I wanted to change the information here. Now click on this save. Anytime future, if you wanted to change anything, you can always edit and change it. Can always edit and change it. Now let me refresh the Salesforce or now here I am going to select the application, view all. Now this is the Swapna ID. Click on this Swapna ID. Now here everything will be displayed. Whether I click on a lead, it will be displayed the same color. Whether I click on an account, it is the same color. Whether I click on an opportunity, it is the same color. Every entire organization, whichever the application tab or whichever the navigation item you click on it, all the items will be displayed in the same color. All the items will be displayed in the same color. Now here, if I click on switch to the classic, switch to the classic. If it is a switch to the classic, now this is the sales. Now let's move to the, it's only available on class in Lightning. I cannot see here. Right, this is the all the tabs. I cannot see the Lightning application which we have created. I cannot see Lightning application which we have created here. Now what you can do is if you wanted to create only for the classic, go to the setup, search for an app manager, search for apps.
App menu, yes. App menu.
Right. So let's see here.
Apps, create apps.
Right. So we have an apps. So here it is a connected app menu. So there is a option is called app menu. Now in the app menu, you can see platform, sales, service, marketing, sample console, right? WDC, app launcher, community, all these things, everything you can see here. All the applications you can see. Visible in the app launcher, everything is visible. Now here, if you wanted to create it, now in the classic,
Create apps. Create.
so in the
setup, create, and then
Create apps. Search create.
so
Or
in the
apps.
classic, if you wanted to create a new app, so if I click on here app menu, so this is going to display all the apps. But if I wanted to create a new app, then search for
लाइव चालू आहे माहितच नाही हा क्लास
create app.
माईक चालूच होता
Build, there is a create option. Under build.
आणि मला वाटलं रेकॉर्डिंग आहे का तुम्ही लाईव्ह
At the top of the bottom.
Okay, you guys already know, I know that. So okay, app menu in that. So if you wanted to create, you can create the app in the classic. Now let me show you one thing in the Lightning. For example, if I change app options, in the app options, for example, I wanted to change it to the console. If I wanted to change it to console, how it is going to display this application? Now, let's assume that I'm going to create a new application here because I cannot change once the application is created, I cannot change the standard navigation to the custom, I cannot change it. So if I click on edit, now here we have an app options. I cannot change to the console navigation. I cannot change it to the console navigation. Only the standard navigation is available. Now quickly let's create another one which is called as let's clone this existing one. clone. Let's say this is a student application. Student application. Now I'm going to use as it is. Click on the next button. Now this time I'm going to select the console navigation. Click on the next button and click on next. So these are the selected items which is already displaying it because we are cloning the Swapna ID. I'm not creating the Lightning app from the scratch. I'm cloning the Lightning app. Click on the next button and then it is asking that do you want it to show the campaign open as a workspace tab or a sub tabs of it. So if you wanted to show the sub tabs of it, that means on the main tab below it is going to show. Like if you say sub tab, so what will happen? It will display as a sub tab, right? Now first, right now, let's go with the workspace tab. Now that you can try by changing the sub tab. Now click on the save button. Now here, now let me click on this view all. Now student, if it is a console navigation means it does not display all the items here. It does not display all the items. It will display the items in the console way. So this way it is going to display. If it is a Swapna ID which we have created, that is a standard navigation. If it is a standard navigation, all the navigations item will be displayed this way. If it is a console, all the navigation item will be displayed like this. And if it is a subtask, if it is a subtask or the option which was available. So that is, it used to display, if you select that subtask, it will display into the subtask. Like this is one tab, right? This is one tab you have. You have one tab and then below this one more tab it is going to display. One more tab. Now again if I open the campaign, it is opening here. But what will happen if I select a subtask? Subtask will be opening up here. This is a parent tab. Inside that subtab will be opening up. So that is the difference between the standard console and standard navigation and console navigation. So most of the times in the real time, we will go with the standard navigation instead of a console because console is hiding all the navigation items. Console is hiding all the navigation item. So if it is a standard navigation item, I can see all the standard navigation items here. So that's the difference between the standard navigation and custom standard navigation and a console navigation.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks.
Now, let's go ahead with the assignment. Create a custom application, online banking, by using the HDFC bank image. So if you search a HDFC logo in the Google, you will find it. So for example, let's go to the Google. Now I'll say here HDFC logo. I wanted to search HDFC logo. Now click on this image. So here is the logo. This is the logo. So if you search here in the Google, you will find this logo. You will find the logo. So you can use that logo. And include the navigation items which are campaign, lead, accounts, contact, and opportunities. Grant the access to the application. Grant the access of the application to the only system administration profile. Only the system administrator profile. And the second one is, second assignment, create a custom application, insurance processor. Insurance processor by adding the former insurance image. Former insurance is a very big company. So former insurance, if you search it in the Google, you will find the logo. So you need to include that logo and include the campaign, lead, accounts, contacts, opportunity, case, and order as a navigation item. Grant the access on the application to all the profile users. This is the second assignment. And the third assignment is create a custom application, talent acquisition. Talent acquisition. By adding an image, you can add any talent related image or a logo, you can add it and include what are the campaign, lead, accounts, contact, opportunity, case, and orders as the navigation item. And here grant the access to all the profiles. Second and third, access provided to all the profiles. The first one is this application should be provided access to the only system administrator, only system administrators profile. Take a notes of it. Okay. So let's move on. Next assignment is configure a list view option for the case object to represent only those case records whose type is mechanical and reason is a performance. So on the case object, you have a field called type. You have a field called type. So wherever the type is mechanical and reason is performance. Now, only those records should be displayed in the list view. So configure the list view option for the case object to represent only those records whose type is mechanical and the reason is performance. And the next one is configure a list view option on the account object to represent only the Hyderabad related customers. How do you identify only Hyderabad related customers? So we have a field called billing city. On the account, we have a field called billing city. So you need to put a filter in the list view, billing city equal to Hyderabad, so that you can view only Hyderabad related records. You can give any name to this list view. So let's say that this is the mechanical list view. This is a Hyderabad customers. List view name is Hyderabad customers. Take a notes of it. Done. So that's about the application. Now we are moving on to the next topic is called object. Next topic is object. Object represents the table. So whenever you talk about object, object is nothing but a table. Object is nothing but a table which is used to store the applications. You can take any application. For example, you have an insurance application. You have an insurance application. That means you wanted to store the data related to the insurance. You wanted to store the data related to the insurance. Or you have a hospital. So that means you wanted to store the details related to the hospital. So whatever the application it could be, whatever the application it could be, or you wanted to store the education details, whether it is a education, whether it is a hospital, whether it is a insurance, whatever the application it might be, if you wanted to store the data within the organization, if you wanted to store the data within the organization in the form of rows and columns, now that information is stored into the individual object. That means every object is containing the specific data. Every object is containing the specific data. Like opportunity object, it contains only related to the deals. Product object, it contains only related to the products object. Right? The campaign, so it is containing only related to the campaign data. So every object holds the data which is specific to that particular record, right? If you wanted to store the student information, right? The data are related to the students. So related to the students, it has to be stored in one object. Related to the insurance, it has to be stored in one object. So that means every table is irrespective of the application, irrespective of the business or organization, every table contains a certain data and that data will be stored in the table. So in the Salesforce, table is nothing but we call it object. Object represents a table which is used to store the application, business or organization specific data. Now Salesforce provided two types of objects. One is a standard object, another one is a custom object. Salesforce is divided into the standard object and custom object. Take a notes of it. Now, we'll see about the standard objects. What is the standard objects we will see. We will see what is the standard objects and what is the custom objects. Who will be creating these objects? Now let's move on. Is it done? Okay. Standard objects. Standard objects are nothing but the one which is provided by the Salesforce. Those are ready-made objects. Those are ready-made objects provided by the Salesforce by default as a Salesforce CRM. As part of Salesforce CRM. So as part of the Salesforce CRM, Salesforce is providing the ready-made objects. Example for that: campaign, lead, account, contact, opportunity, case, solution, right? Order, user, task, event, like there's so many are there. Now, standard objects. Now, for example, this is a object. Assume that this is an account object. In this account object, Salesforce is already providing the name, rating, type, right, phone number. These all are already providing it. Now, in case if developer wants to add another field, if developer wants to add another field. Let's assume that they wanted to add a email. Email is not available on the account object. Now developer or admin wants to add another field. If I wanted to add another field on the standard object, can we add it or not? Yes, we can add it. It is possible that we can add the information. So that means standard objects can be customizable, but we cannot remove the standard objects. But we cannot remove the standard objects from the organization. We can do the customization. I can add a new data here. I can add new field or I can modify it, right? So I can add here new field here as well as I can add few more fields. I can add it here. Few more fields I can add it, but I cannot delete the object. We cannot remove the object from the Salesforce, which is not possible. Now take a notes of it. Okay, so let's move on. Next one is a custom object. Custom objects. Custom objects are nothing but apart from the standard objects, in case if our requirement says that we need to create a new object. Let's assume insurance details. I wanted to store it. Or branch details. What are the branches we have? All the branches details I wanted to store it. For that, we create a custom object. For that, we create a custom object. Now here, custom objects are created by the either Salesforce admin or a developer based on the business requirement. Based on the business requirement, in order to store the certain data, Salesforce admin or a developer creates a custom object. And custom objects can be removable. You can delete the custom objects from the organization or you can customize it. Example, like a branch. I am creating the branch. When I create a branch, right? When I create a branch, your custom objects are always ends with __c. Now, whenever you create a branch, you are creating a custom object branch. But at the backend, the API name, it always says branch __c. Similarly, you are creating the customer object. When you specify the customer object, at the backend, the API name will be customer __c. If it is a policy, object name is a policy. API name of the object is policy __c. Similarly, claim is a custom object. Now, if it is a claim is custom object, claim __c is the API name. Similarly, patient __c, hiring manager __c. So your all the custom objects will be ends with __c. Now, for example, you join the company. And when you join the company, you wanted to know that what are the custom objects are created by the team. What are the standard objects? What are the custom objects available in our project? Now, in case if you wanted to know the difference between the standard object and custom object is by looking at this API, you can identify that if there is a __c at the end, that means it is a custom object. That means it is a custom object. Now take a notes of it. Now we are creating the custom objects, multiple custom objects, because whenever we are implementing a project, if I am implementing a project from the scratch, whenever we implement a project from the scratch, that means we need to create multiple custom object. We need to create a multiple custom object. So per single application, how many custom objects can I create it? What are the limits are available? So whenever we are creating a custom objects, the governor limits on the custom objects are in developer edition. We can add maximum of 400 custom fields per object. So this is talking about the fields. No, we are talking about the objects. Now let me show you that. Now here, let's go search in the Google. Now let's say here, custom object limitations on Salesforce. Custom object limitations on the Salesforce. Now if you go to the Salesforce page, in the Salesforce page, it says that you can create a maximum of custom objects, you can create it. So if it is a, this is the different additions. This is a personal edition, contact manager, group edition. But our main one is essential edition, professional edition, enterprise edition, unlimited edition, and the developer edition. Developer edition. So for this, from here, right? So this is from here. Now, if I wanted to see the custom objects, so custom objects are in the essential. We cannot create anything. Essential edition, we cannot create anything. In professional edition, we can create a 50. In professional edition, we can create a 50. Enterprise edition, we can create a 100, 200 objects. If it is a unlimited 2000 objects, if it is a unlimited 2000 objects, if it is a developer edition, you can create a 400. We can create a 400. So maximum in the developer edition, you can create a 400 custom objects. 400 custom objects. You can create 400 custom objects in the developer edition. If it is a unlimited edition, if it is a unlimited edition, you can create a 2000. If it is a essential edition, you cannot create anything. There is not possible to create any edition in the essential. In the essential edition, you cannot create any custom objects. If it is a professional edition, you can create a maximum 50 objects. So now here you have a 400 custom objects you can create in developer edition. That means you can implement at least 2 projects. At least 2 projects you can implement it in the developer edition. You can implement a real-time project, at least 2 projects you can implement, because we have a flexibility of creating the 400 objects. Minimum, we can create a 2 projects in the developer edition. Unlimited edition 2000. That means we can create a more than 2 projects. We can create a more than 2 projects. Now, we have a custom objects and the standard objects. 2 objects we have. One is a custom object. One is custom objects. And another one is we have a standard objects. We have a standard objects. standard objects. The combination of this, by combining these both, custom object and standard objects, if you combine that, it will be called as an S objects in the Salesforce. S object is nothing but combination of both standard object and custom object is called as a S object, which is a Salesforce object, objects. Combination of this, both custom objects and standard object is called as a S object. S object. Take a notes of it. Let's move on. Now, combination of these two are called S object. Now we know the objects, we know the custom objects, we know the standard objects, and what are the limits in the developer addition, we know that. Now, if I wanted to view the objects, in the Salesforce, what are the different ways I can view the object? What are the different ways I can view the object? Now I can view the objects three ways. I can view the objects in the Salesforce. The first one is object manager. If I go to the object manager, I can see all the existing objects. Also, I can create objects. In the object manager, I can see all of them. The second one is Schema Builder. In the Schema Builder also, I can view all the objects, whether it is a custom object, whether it is a standard object, all the S objects I can view into the Schema Builder. And the third one is Developer Console. That means we can view the objects in three ways. Object manager, schema builder, and the developer console. Now, the first one, let me show you the object manager. In the object manager, for example, in order to go to the object manager, click on here setup. Click on the setup. Here you have an option called object manager. Now, if you click on this object manager, when you click on this object manager, you can view all the objects that are available in the object manager. So from them, it starts with alphabetic order. This is a sorting. Either you want alphabetic starting with the ascending order or a descending order. If you want a descending order, just click on this, it will display. If you want ascending order, again click on this, it will display. So account, activity, right? So alternative payment method, appointment, invite, asset actions, authorization form, all the objects you can view. And here type is going to explain about whether it is a standard object or a custom object. Type is going to specify whether it is a standard object or custom object. If it is a standard object, it is going to display the standard object. If it is a custom object, like we have created the custom object, then it is going to specify the custom object. Now here I can view all the objects in the object manager. Now the second one is Schema Builder. The second one is Schema Builder. Schema Builder. Schema Builder is basically the difference between the object manager and the Schema Builder is in the object manager, you can view all the objects in a list. In list, you can view all the object names. Whereas Schema Builder, it is going to show you in the graphical representation. That means you can see some kind of a box or some kind of a graphical representation it is going to display. That means Schema Builder uses the graphical representation tool that represents the object structure on the canvas in the pictorial format. That means there is some image it is going to display in the Schema Builder. If you go to if you search for a Schema Builder in the setup, then you will find Schema Builder tool. So go to the Schema Builder tool and select the this is what you will see. So when you click on the Schema Builder tool, this is how you will see. This is the Schema Builder tool. Now in the Schema Builder, you have a left side, one box is there, and then in all the right side will be, everything will be another box. Right here in the left side, whatever you have in the left side, you can see all the objects. You can see all the objects. And this one is called as a canvas. This one is called as a canvas. Canvas is like a blank paper. Canvas is like a blank paper. You select here object, it will display the object structure. In the pictorial format, it will display the object. If you select a contact, it will display the contact pictorial format. It will display the contact pictorial format. So this is the contact, it will display in the pictorial format. And the next one, you have another one, contract. Now that is also, if you select it, it is going to display the pictorial format. Right? Select the object from the left panel. Select the object from the left panel so that on the canvas, you are going to, it is going to show you in the pictorial format of the object structure, including the fields. That means we can identify the object and we can view what are the fields that are available in the object, and we can identify the association among the objects. That means what is the relation between the object, we can see that. So take a notes of it, Schema Builder. Canvas is like a blank paper. So this is the second way of viewing the objects. Now let me show you the Schema Builder. Now go to the home and search for a Schema Builder here. Search for Schema Builder. Now here you have it within the objects and fields. you have a schema builder. Click on this schema builder. Click on this schema builder. By default, it is going to display the some objects here. Now clear everything. Now, if you see here, the left side is, this is the objects it is going to display. All the objects it is going to display here. And this side is called as a canvas. This side is called as a canvas. This is a canvas. This is canvas. Right now, for example, I'm going to drag it, account, and let's say contact. Here you can search it, contact. Now I can choose the lead and then opportunity. Click on this. Now here it is displaying that one is here, one is here, and one is here, one is here. Now let's click on this auto layout. Click on auto layout. When you click on auto layout, at least you will see the nearby. Now lead is completely, there is no relation with the lead. But now I have an opportunity, account, contact, opportunity, account, and then contact. Now, if you wanted to drag it this side, you can drag it. So this is the account, this is the contact, and this is the opportunity. Now, whatever this color is there, right? This is a lookup relationship. We will talk about the relationship, but here, whatever this color is there, this is a lookup relationship. This is lookup relationship. And whatever this is there, right? This is the, what are the hierarchy relationship. And you will see few of them, which is called as a, if there is a this color, it is a master detail relationship. And wherever you see the line, those are required fields. Those all are required fields. Wherever you see the line here, those all are required fields. So this is how you can see in the schema builder object, and you can see what are the fields are available, how many fields are mandatory fields, and what is the relationship between these objects. What is the relationship between these objects? This way you can try to find. Now this, when it is going to help, for example, you join the company. When you join the company, if you want to quickly review what is happening, if you wanted to quickly review how the structure is implemented in the project, then the better place is going to the schema builder. Go to the schema builder and look for the architecture, how it is there, the opportunity, account, contact, how the architecture has been implemented, how the design has been implemented. So you can go to the schema builder. In the schema builder, you can get what are the objects that are available. In the schema builder, what are the objects that are available and what is the relationship, what are the fields are available in the object, everything you can view it in the schema builder. And the next one is, next one we have a developer console. Developer console. Now in the developer console, in order to go to the developer console, the navigation steps are setup. Click on a setup menu, click on the developer console link and go to the developer console editor. Now how to go here? Let's go here, click on this setup and click on this developer console. Click on this developer console. The first step is click on this setup and then click on the developer console. When you click on the developer console, there is another window that gets opened, the developer console. Another window that gets open. This is the developer console. This is developer console. It is written here on top, developer console. Now in this developer console, click on the file menu. Click on file menu and click on the open menu item. Now you have a menu item here. There are multiple menus are there. Multiple menu items are there. File, edit, debug, test, workspace, help. But right now I'm just focusing on the file. I'm just focusing on the file. I'm not focusing on all of this. I'm just focusing on the first option, which is called as a file. First option, which is called as a file. So click on this file and then click on the second option, which is called as a open. Second option, which is called as a open. When you click on this open, now you can see this screen. You can see this screen. Now here you have a three boxes. First box is a entity type, and the second one is a entities, and the third one is a related. Third one is related. Entity type. Select the first, you need to select the entity type, because in these three boxes, these two boxes are depending on what you are selecting on this. What you are selecting on the entity type. So the first thing you need to choose is entity type. So select the entity type as a object. Select the entity type object, and then it will give all the Salesforce objects as objects into the entities. It is going to display all the objects in the entities, and select that entity, any entity that you wanted to see, any object that you wanted to open up. Just click on that. Just click on that. Double click on that object name, and then click on here button called open. Click on button called open. Now let me show you that. Now this is the three boxes. I have it open. This is the open. Within the open, we have a three boxes. One is the entity type, entities, and then related. And then related. Now these two are depending on entity type. These two are depending on the entity type. So the first thing you need to select is objects. When you click on the objects, all the objects are displayed here. All the objects are displayed here. Now you will see the objects that are not available in the object manager. Also you can see here. There are few hidden objects. Those objects only for the developers, not for the user interface. So those objects also you can see here. For example, if you wanted to open the account, now you are not able to find it here. In that case, what you can do is you can search here, account. This is a filter. Search here, okay, I have an account, click on this, click on the open button. Now you can see the object and then what are the fields that are available inside the object. Now how to view the object? Click on the file, click on the open, click on these objects. Now you can see all the objects in, entities. In the entities, you can see all the objects. In case if you wanted to search any object, you can search here, opportunity. So it will be available. Now if you double click on that, it will open up. Take a notes of it. Done. Okay, so let's move on. Let's take a use case. For example, I'm going to create a custom object which is called customer. I'm going to create a object customer. When I create a object customer, what is Salesforce does it? I'm just opening the object manager. I entered the object name and clicked on the save. When we save it, what is happening at the backend? At the backend, what are the information it is going to capture and what else is happening at the backend? So whenever we create a customer object at the front side, the backend, it will create a table which is called customer underscore C. Salesforce is going to create a table is called customer underscore C. That means in the database, it is going to create a table called customer underscore C. As well as when it is created the customer underscore C, along with the table creation, Salesforce also creates few fields. Salesforce also creates the few fields, which is ID, name, owner, created by, and then last modified by, and then last modified by. That means Salesforce, whenever we create an object customer, Salesforce creates the table. The table name is, which is same as the API name of the object, customer underscore C. Along with that, it also creates the field, which is the ID, name, owner, created by, last modified by. 5 fields it will create automatically. Whether you create whatever the object, whenever you create a custom object, 5 fields are automatically created by the Salesforce, and those fields are placed into the table. Those fields are placed into the table. And along with this, if I specify that I wanted to show this object on the tab, then what will happen? It will create a user interface, which is called customer. It will create a user interface, which is called customers. User interface tab name is customers. Now, how my user interface look like? User interface look like customer name. Now, only one option will be there, only one input text. Customer owner will be grayed out. Customer owner will be grayed out. You cannot view the data here. User cannot enter the owner details. User can enter only the customer name. User can enter the only customer name. Now, initially, whenever the object is created, Salesforce creates the table, right, in the database, also creates a field, 5 fields it creates, and it will create a tab, which is called as a customers. Along with this, it also creates the page layout. It also creates the page layout. Page layout. So by default, Salesforce also creates the page layout. Page layout is nothing but how the field should be displayed on the page. How fields are needs to be displayed on the page. By default, Salesforce will create a page layout. Now, for example, user is entering the data here. User is entering the data. So let's say user is entering the Komal. Right, user is entering the Komal and click on the save button. Once they click on the save button, what will happen? This data has to be stored inside the table. Stored inside the table. Now, it directly will not go to the table. This is a database. It directly will not touch the database. It will not touch the database because whenever we create a custom object, along with this information, Salesforce also creates a business logic for this object. Salesforce also creates a business logic. It creates the business logic. So this is a business logic. Through this business logic, it will send the information to the business logic, and the business logic will send the data to the customer table, and in the database, customer table, it will send the information, and in the table, the record will be created. So here the name will be Komal, and there is a unique ID will be generated. Unique ID will be generated, owner created by last modified by. This is the data will be created. So this is the overall structure of what is happening whenever we create an object. Whenever we create an object, user interface is automatically created by the Salesforce. Business logic is also created by the Salesforce. There is a by default, it will create the business logic. And in the database, it will create the table. It will create the table. Usually, if it is another application, like if it is a JavaScript or if it is a C or if it is a different language, then what we need to do, we need to create a user interface ourselves. Business logic, we have to create it ourselves. Database also we need to create it because here the database SQL, if they are using it, we need to create a database here. But right now, as soon as I create an object, Salesforce is creating the table. Salesforce is creating the business logic. Salesforce is creating the fields. Salesforce is creating the tabs. Salesforce is creating the page layout. How many it is creating it? Database 1, business logic 2, user interface 3. In the user interface, what are the 4 fields are there? It is displaying the fields, creating the fields and the tabs in order to show the user, right? And then finally, we have a table that gets created inside the database. So total 6 it is going to be. Everything happens in a fraction of a second. There won't be any delay. If it is another language, at least it will take 1 day or 2 days of time to implement all of this. But here, Salesforce is already doing the half of the work here. Salesforce is already doing the half of the work. Right? Everything it is getting created here. Now that means whenever we create a user in custom object, right? So upon creating the custom object, Salesforce provides the 3 layers by default. It will provide the 3 layers. First one is it will create the table with the specified and it will create the
No.
And it will create the below 5 standard fields in the object. 5 standard fields in the object. So those standard fields are ID and the name, owner, created by, last modified by. ID, name, owner, created by, last modified by. This is the first layer. And the second one is it will create a tab for the objects which is used to manage the record in the object. and then it will create the business logic. It will create the business logic. What is the class name it will give? For example, if my object name is a customer, if my object name is a customer, then table name will be the customer underscore underscore C. And then field is ID, name, owner, created by, last modified by, and then it will create the tab user interface, which is called as a customers. Along with that, the next one which is going to create is page layout. One of the page layout, it is going to create it. Page layout, it will create it. Take a notes of it. Done. Okay, so let's move on. Now, if I wanted to create a custom object, there are two ways we can create a custom object. One is by using the object manager, and also from the schema builder also we can create it. We will create the custom objects tomorrow. Two ways we can create it, through the object manager, through the schema builder. Now, let's take an interview questions. Interview questions are: how to create a custom application? What is a object? What is S object? What is a standard object? What is custom object? Examples for the custom objects. Example for the standard objects. What are the Garner limits on the custom object? What are the Garner limits on the custom object? And what are the different ways to view the objects? What are the different ways to view the objects? What are the navigation steps to view the schema builder? What are the navigation steps to view the schema builder? None taken the notes? Okay. Next one is how to open the developer console. What are the navigation steps to view the objects in developer console? What is Schema Builder? What is Schema Builder? What is the differences between the Schema Builder and the Object Manager? How many standard fields are how many standard how to identify the custom objects and the standard object? As an admin or a developer, how can identify the custom object and the standard object? Upon creating the custom object, what are the data created by the Salesforce? Whenever the admin or developer are creating the custom object, what are data created in the Salesforce? What are the different ways to create a custom object? What are the different ways to create a custom object? How do you set up the entire application as a default color irrespective of the tabs? Irrespective of the tabs, how can you make sure that entire application is having a default color? How to identify classic application, lightning application? How to identify classic application and lightning application? Now, this is a trial head link. Along with this, I'll give 2 more questions. So the 2 more questions are, how many custom objects can be created in the developer edition? How many custom objects can be created in the unlimited edition? And this is the trial head link. That's all for today.